What's up, everybody? Welcome to another live episode of Level Up Law, where every Tuesday at noon, South Carolina Legal Services is leveling up your legal knowledge about an area of law that we practice in. I'm Senior Staff Attorney Susan Ingalls here with our producer Kenneth Elliott, and you are viewing live Jenny Kaufman, our Public Benefits Unit Head, and her guest, Sheila Albergottie, who is the Outreach and Education Coordinator for the South Carolina Association of Community Action Partnerships. That is a mouthful, Sheila. We'll be discussing the unwinding of Medicaid, and in particular, we'll be going over Medicaid renewals and appeals. So let's take it away, Sheila.
I just want to thank Attorney Kaufman for us being able to team together, and Susan, thank you for the introduction. And I just want to also thank the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid. They were the ones that gave us most of the information for this and really encouraging us to get this information out into the community. So what I'm going to go over, actually, just to start off with, is a little background about Medicaid. So you can see, we're going to talk about Medicaid just a little bit. In fact, this is Medicaid started in 1965 under President Lyndon Baines Johnson, and this is like the 58th year that coverage to Americans has been available. As you can see, the coverage is for low-income adults, children, pregnant women, elderly adults, and people with disabilities. But each state runs its Medicaid program. Even though it's a federally funded program, it's a joint effort. And every state gets to choose which ones they want to cover. Now, for South Carolina, the program that runs the Medicaid for South Carolina is called Healthy Connections. And South Carolina, because it's not an expansion state, the coverage is only for children with developmental delays, breast and cervical cancer patients, parent and caretaker relatives, people over the age of 65, pregnant women, and people with disabilities. So that is, in case, I wanted to go over this because people move back and forth, and some people may come to South Carolina thinking they are eligible for Medicaid, but these are the groups that South Carolina covers for benefit. There's the CHIP program, which is the acronym for Children's Health Insurance Program. And all the children that are in this program will also have to renew their coverage. We're saying Medicaid, but also people that are receiving, children that are receiving benefits in the CHIP program will also have to renew their coverage. So what's going on right now? The reason we are coming to everybody now is because for the past 3 years, the whole world has been in a crisis with the COVID pandemic. And so there was a public health emergency, and because all of the things that were going on, so many people were losing jobs and whatever, that they just stopped the renewal process. Typically, every year, if a person is a beneficiary of Medicaid benefits, there's a review because your status may change. You may get a job, somebody else in the household. But for the past 3 years, this has not happened. So many people are on the rolls now that they really need to see who is truly eligible. So the continuous enrollment period ended and has of April the 1st, everyone that is receiving Medicaid will have to have a review. And all the states are going through this. And of course, South Carolina started its review April the 1st. So this is what the impact is, and this is why we're bringing it to so many people. You can see the numbers. So many people are losing Medicaid and their CHIP coverage this year. They're losing the coverage. In fact, for South Carolina, over 100,000 people already have lost coverage. And so we don't want any more to lose just because they don't know the information. It's not that people are losing coverage because they're not eligible and they don't qualify. It's because they don't even know to be on the lookout. Because, our memory is short. For the past 3 years, they've not had to do any kind of paperwork or review. And of course, people that just came on in the past 3 years, they don't even know about review. So this is the charge for us to get this information out. So as I said, states, as of April 1st, all the states are making contact with people to let them know to check on the eligibility. And of course, the fact is that some people will lose their coverage. Some people don't even qualify. So the fact is that we really want people to know is that everybody is not going to get their review notice instantly. It's going to be over a period of time, over the year's time, from April the 1st through March of next year. So everybody will get a letter, some type of correspondence from Healthy Connections, but it's not going to be everybody at the same time. This is the challenge, to keep this in the forefront, because somebody maybe in September or November will just get their notification to renew their benefits. So we really have to keep this before everybody. So what do people have to do to renew their coverage? Okay, there will be a letter sent from Healthy Connections about 2 to 3 weeks before it's time for that person's renewal date. Okay, now if Healthy Connections need more information, they will send the renewal letter to the person in that mail. But they're going to try to qualify people through information from other income eligible types of programs. That's the first thing that they're doing. But if they need more information, they will send a renewal letter to you, and there also will be a checklist in there. If they don't need information, they've got everything they need from these other programs, and they were able to cross-check, then you will receive a continuation of benefits notice, and you will not need to do the review form. But either way, you will need to be on the lookout for something from Healthy Connections regarding your benefits for Medicaid. So this is what people need to do. If you have not, we know people have already been terminated, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But if you have not received anything in the mail from Healthy Connections, you can go to this website. I'm not going to pull it up. I have it up, but you can go to this website. Pretty simple. Apply, South Carolina Department Health and Human Services.gov. That website has everything you need to know as far as if you want to update your information. Can you imagine if they're sending you a letter and you have moved, they're not going to know where you are. Okay? So we need to know, you need to really try to go to that website and update the information so that they will be able to get you the mail. Also, I believe when you go to that website, they may also be able to text you information. There's the number to call. You can call the 888-549-0820 to update your information. Now, you know there's a lot of people that are probably trying to call, so you may not get a chance to talk to someone right then. But they will give you a call back. You can opt for that option, that they will give you a call back, and they will do that. But the point being is that if Medicaid does not have your contact information, you will not get a letter, and you may end up being terminated. So you get the letter, open the letter. I know a lot of times things pile up. This is the alert. A lot of times you get these things in the mail and you say, what is this? I don't know. We're trying to tell you, you're going to get something. Open the letter, read the letter, the entire letter. Pull out all the papers. You're going to have a renewal papers. Okay, it's like 12 pages. Okay, you may have a checklist. Information on the checklist in case they need, who knows, they may need information, a copy of your driver's license or some type of document. You need to be sure that you look at what they check that they need, because even if you send it back and they still don't have those documents, your form and your information is incomplete. Okay, so be sure to look at everything in the envelope, and please return the renewal form back to Healthy Connections. Even if, they just need to check off that you're qualified or don't qualify. Just wanted to kind of go over the form. This is what it looks like. I think it really is in color, but this is what basically the information that's on there is just a different color. This is all in black and white. I want you to know on the left corner, due date, okay? That is when they need your information back. So There may be a lot of things. There's a lot of pages. There's 12 pages. There's a lot to check off and fill in, but it needs to get back by that due date. So please make note of that. On the right side, they're trying, whoever is in the household has to be counted. They need information about everybody in the household, okay? They want information about yourself, about if you're working, what's going on with you, if you know, all that information. And you see on the right side, if there is someone that's helping you with this, they need to know that as well. And this continues. Again, information about yourself. As you can see, they want to know if you're working, if you're not working, what the current status is at this time. Like I said, this is a lot of papers. And so sometimes all these papers can be intimidating. I know it is for me. So just take your time and go through. And one thing, you may also want to have somebody to kind of look over things with you, because a lot of times all these boxes and things, you may, I'm going to come back to that later, I don't know that information, and you'll forget, and then your form is incomplete. Okay, and this continues. You know, that first page when we started, you were supposed to list all the people in your household. You have information about the other people that are in your household on these pages. And there's a lot of pages, but we're just kind of going through them quickly so you can get an idea that it's going to take a little bit of time to complete everything. You know, in 3 years, things may have changed. Maybe your mom or your grandmother is living with you now, or children are out the household now. People have gotten their own homes or whatever. So what has changed in your household? That is what the information is. So if there's somebody that's new in your household than previous time, then you need to put that person's information in right there. Okay. As you can see, I'm just going to go right to the right side. Do not forget to sign. A lot of times you've done all of this, you think you're all done, you need to sign the paper and send it back in. And again, if there's information that Healthy Connections needs, then they will tell you that on the checklist. There'll be a checklist for you to fill out, and they'll fill it out, and you'll have to send those things back in. Okay, so you can see how that can be kind of intimidating, right? All of those pages, all of that information. So if you need help, like I said, maybe a friend or somebody, but guess what? Your provider, you may have a provider. Everybody doesn't have a provider, I understand that. But if you have a provider, they are willing and able to help you because you're their customer, you're their client. They want you to continue. They want to continue to serve you, you know, so you can go to them to help you. Also, you can go to this website at South Carolina Department of HHS, scdhhs.gov, to locate your local office. If you do not know where your Medicaid office is in your county, then you can go there and they will, you'll feel it with the address and phone number. You can call them, you can go down there, and there'll be somebody to help you as well. Also, our community action partnerships. I'm a part of South Carolina Community Action Partnerships, and we have 13 offices all over the state, but we serve every county. There is somebody, if you call our office, there will be somebody available to assist you with filling out this paperwork. We want everybody to be able to have the health care coverage that they need, okay? So you can also go to our website, which is scacap.org. I have that later, but that will also give you information about where our offices are. Okay, well, you filled out the paperwork. You have sent it back in. You've returned it. And so now what do? Well, you need to look out for another piece of mail from Healthy Connections to tell you what the decision was, what's the outcome. They will either let you know that you are still eligible or whether or not your coverage has ended. And so you need to look out for the first piece of mail that tells you, that has information about the renewal forms, the checklist. Then you send it back in. You need to be on the lookout to see what's going to happen next, okay? So this is a critical part too, so that you'll know whether you have coverage or not. If you lose your coverage, there is coverage available for you through healthcare.gov, the healthcare marketplace. You can go there, and there's plans that are $10 or less that cover all your doctor's visits and different things like that. There's really no need for you to not have the coverage when this is available. It's just a matter of going there. And so that is available to you as well. Okay, this is if you're 65 and you haven't filled out the information as far as your Medicare, that's available. Hopefully, if you're working, your employer has told you that you have some type of health care coverage. So if not, you may want to approach them to see if there's some limited coverage or what it is that they do have. Again, the steps that you need to take if you have lost your coverage, you want to review your notice to see why you lost your coverage, okay? It may be that you're just, no longer eligible, okay? They found out with information. Again, you can call the number and you can go online. You may forgot to sign. You may forgot to have sent something in. So you can go to apply.scdhhs.gov and give them the information that they need. Now, if that's not the case and you feel like there's a change in situation and you really do need to review what's going on, you have the right to appeal that decision. So if you think, like I said, that you are still eligible, you have turned the paperwork back in, you got termination notice, and you feel like you were wrong, your coverage was ended, and it was a wrong decision on behalf of Healthy Connections, you can ask for a second review and appeal the decision. And so at this time, I'm going to have my colleague, Attorney Kaufman, to come on and tell us what things need to happen when you're going to appeal.
Hi, thank you, Sheila. I can't emphasize enough what Sheila has already told you. Most people, quite a few of you, will remain eligible because the eligibility rules did not change. They really need to update your information. So if you're aged, blind, or disabled, you're receiving TANF, you're in a nursing home, you're a parent, caretaker, relative, you're working disabled, there are so many categories that you may fall within one of them. I also just got off the phone about an hour ago with Susan Berkowitz of South Carolina Appleseed Justice, and she told me that South Carolina has had to suspend the terminations because of some problems they have been having with technology, including their website, etc. So that is all supposed to restart in a week, in August. So you were told that you no longer have Medicaid. How do people find out? They go to the pharmacy to fill a prescription. They're told they're not eligible any longer. They go to the doctor. No, you don't have Medicaid. I am going to discuss appeals, but I can't emphasize enough what Sheila has already told you. Call the Medicaid office. The phone number, 888-549-0820. Complete your form online. You don't even have to put all of the information on it. You really just need to update your contact information and make sure, as Sheila told you, that the form is signed and dated. This is part of the technology problem. The upload tool and the email address I have listed. If they're not working, find your local Medicaid office and take the form there. They will then contact you. Now, you need to do all of these steps first. You have 90 days to get your information back to the Department of Health and Human Services. As long as they have at least the signed and dated form, they're not going to terminate you, but they need your updated contact information. Sheila already went over this form, but I have one that actually has the due date on it. So you'll see it in the upper left-hand corner. It will also have your case number. Before you file an appeal, make sure you know that you are still eligible for Medicaid. If you're not, Sheila told you there's a special enrollment period. You will have 6 months after the loss of your Medicaid coverage to enroll in a Medicare plan. You may have to pay premiums going forward. Check to make sure that Medicaid, that whether or not you're eligible for the Medicare Savings Program. Level Up Law has a session that we did, I believe, last year on the Medicare Savings Program. Also, you have the ability to contact the marketplace. Their special enrollment period is from April 1st of 2023 to July 31st of 2024. Keep all of the paperwork, and because you may need to submit it to prove that you are in a special enrollment period. If you need help with the marketplace, Ms. Berkowitz said, contact Insure South Carolina. I have, or you could try to get help from Sheila's organization. There are phone numbers, mail, and email that can help you. This is just with the marketplace, not with Medicaid specifically. To determine whether or not you are eligible, you need to think about what your monthly income is. To be a parent, caretaker, relative, and eligible for Medicaid, these are the monthly income amounts that you need to show you're under in order to be approved. For this Partners for Healthy Children is the CHIP program. It allows a higher income level for a family, but it only provides insurance for the children. I wanted to go over this so you would have as many tools as possible so that before you file an appeal, you can make a decision on whether or not that's going to be your only resource left for keeping your Medicaid. The working disabled is for individuals who maybe lost their SSI because they're now working. If they have higher income limits, you probably will have a premium based on what your earnings are. But again, know what the income amounts are before you jump to the appeals process. In addition to income levels, the working disabled, you have to be under age 65, totally and permanently disabled. Social Security will send that information to Medicaid. You have to be a resident of South Carolina. Just because you live here doesn't mean you're necessarily a resident. But it is important, if you are, that you notify the state where you moved from that you're no longer living there. Otherwise, you won't be able to establish eligibility in South Carolina for Medicaid, and it'll be difficult for you to find a provider because they won't take the insurance from the state you are living in. You have to have a Social Security number or verify that one has been applied for. You have to assign your rights to medical support. That usually is either from how do I put this? If you've been injured because of an accident and somebody else, it will eventually pay your medical bills, they have to pay Medicaid back first. And you have to be working and have an actual earned income. If all else fails, if you have submitted at least the form with your updated contact information and you've signed and dated it, you can file an appeal. It should be the last thing you try, because once you get into that system, everything gets put on hold. You have 2 important dates for filing an appeal. You have to request a hearing within 10 days of the notice and ask for benefits to continue. And you only have a total of 30 days from the date of the notice to file your request for hearing. And that is including the 10 days. So you only have 30 days to request a hearing, and only after everything else has failed. You can file an appeal online. In fact, South Carolina prefers that. You'll get confirmation from an email that you filed the appeal. Keep a copy of that email. You can fax it to one of the 2 numbers we have listed, 803-255-8206 or 803-255-8251. Again, keep proof. If you call them, they should take the appeal over the phone, 888-549-0820. Take note of the date, the time, and who you spoke to. You can file an appeal through the mail. You should keep proof of mailing. I can't emphasize this enough. You need to keep proof. If nothing else, take a picture of the outside of the envelope with the stamp on it, and hopefully your phone camera will put a date and time stamp on it. But you need to keep proof. There's also a special email address for appeals to be sent to. ELIG is for eligibility appeals. And that's what you would be filing. If you're in a managed care program, you have to go through their appeal process first. I'm sorry that you have to do this, but it's important, and most people are in managed care with Medicaid in South Carolina. So you're going to have to contact the individual managed care organization and ask them what they want you to do for that process. I think there are 4 or 5 managed care providers in South Carolina, but before you file an appeal, you have to go through their system. And again, note who you talked to and what you did in case something goes wrong. You'll have good cause for missing that 30-day deadline. A special group of individuals who are receiving waivered services through the Department of Disability and Special Needs, they have a different appeal process. They have to file a request for reconsideration with the South Carolina Department of Disability and Special Needs. It has to be filed within 10 days for services to continue, and you're going to want to make sure that your services are continuing. The request has to be in writing and within 30 calendar days of receipt of the notice. And right now, the only way they have to file an appeal is for a reconsideration request is to mail it to the state director at Post Office Box 4706, Columbia, South Carolina 29240. You must state the reason for the appeal, what you tried to do to resolve the problem. That goes back to you need to contact Medicaid to try to resolve it. Or your guardian can do that, or your case manager. And again, the appeal must be signed by either the participant, the legal guardian, or their representative. If they are supposed to get back to you within 10 days, they might be able to resolve it because you were just missing information. And again, you have to do this or it will interfere with your appeal to Medicaid. So that finishes our Level Up Law session for today. If you have a topic to suggest for a future episode of Level Up Law, you can scan this QR code. Sheila, do you have anything you want to add before we turn it back over to Susie?
Yes, if we can go back to the slide, my slide. Well, just kind of what you were saying, you know, we need all the ones out there. I'm not sure if it's mainly the beneficiaries of Medicaid. There are people that want to help, but all hands on deck. We need everybody to help get this message. Jen has such great information through the form helpful. If people have questions, we've given you the number. You can contact Healthy Connections, but this is the charge, all hands on deck, because people are getting cut. Can you imagine going to the doctor like usually you do? You have a pain, maybe your child has fallen, and you go and, as Jane said, you find out you're not eligible. Can you imagine how that would feel? That is already the scenario all over the country for people finding out when they go to the drugstore, they can't get their medicine, when they go to the doctor's office. So we need everybody to help us to get this message out. You can contact our office, the South Carolina Association of Community Action Partnerships. That's the website, www.scacap.org. The office number, 803-771-9404. My email, salbergottie@scacap.org, or just information that will go to our main source that if you have any questions, you can still get an answer. And we will direct you, like I said, there's the different CAP offices. We're calling them CAP Community Action Partnerships, 13 offices. Go to your providers. And if you really go to the website for apply.scdhhs.gov, that website has a wealth of information. You can upload the documents. You can make the changes as far as your contact information, if you have a new address. So we're hoping, I'm sure Jenny agrees, that you will use these resources. I'm not sure who's on the line, but if it's beneficiaries, you know what to do. And if you're a service provider or a helper, you're on this because you care about people in your community. Let us make a difference in our community so that we can all have healthy lives. So I just wanted to end with those notes, Jenny.
Well, thank y'all so much. This was so informative and very timely, and I know our viewers are really appreciating all the good information. I do want to, as always, remind our viewers that this is not legal advice for anybody in particular. It's just general information for the public, because you need to know about this, as Sheila and Jenny have both said. So be sure and you can review this on our YouTube channel. We'll post it there soon. Producer Kenneth will be doing that. So anybody who didn't get to see it can go there and find it. You can share it out with anybody that you think needs it in the community, whether it's individuals or organizations that are helping individuals. So we're really hopeful that this will help get this word out, because it is so important. And here you're seeing our Connect card, which will give you all the information about contacting us here at Legal Services. You can apply if you're having trouble with this process. You can apply for our assistance from one of our staff attorneys. And so we always encourage people to do that. We have an 888 toll-free number you can see on your screen. We also have online intake that's there for 24/7. If you're working and your work schedule doesn't work out to call us, our intake office for telephone is only open from Monday through Thursday, 9 to 6. But you can do the online intake anytime, so we definitely encourage you to do that if you can't get through on the telephone. There's another QR code here. You can scan this and sign up to get our newsletter, sign up for future information about Level Up Law. You can even donate from that QR code connection. So we encourage everybody to go ahead and snap a picture of that. And then we're also, as always, very proud of our resources here, whether it be social media or our websites. And so I do encourage everyone to, if you are on social media, go here and like and subscribe. All of our resources are there. We're even on TikTok now. We have a little 60-second learn the law and things like that. So we've got a lot of great resources for you out there, just like this presentation today, which was just excellent, you guys. I really do appreciate you. Doing it. Like, share if you found this helpful, and I'm sure you did. And definitely sign up for future episodes of Level Up Law. And to our audience, thank you so much for being here, whether it's live or on the replay. We know this is important information that's going to be helpful to you.